Did officials with Children's Protective Services miss blaring warnings that could have saved the life of a 9-year-old Detroit boy?
His remains were found buried in a backyard at a home in January. The boy's mother was charged with his murder on February 5th.
7 investigator Ross Jones is revealing internal CPS records, raising serious questions about what officials did and did not do when they heard alarming claims about the child's safety.
We identified some human remains, someone small in stature. Extremely sad day.
The scene at Woodingham and St. Martin's in Detroit was enough to shake even career police officers. The body of a child found buried in a shallow grave.
This case is rather shocking. In my 27-year career, I don't remember seeing anything like this.
It took days for officers to determine that the boy was 9-year-old Zemar King, murdered, prosecutors say, by his mother, Brandy Pierce.
It's alleged that she purchased a shovel. She bound him by tying his hands and feet together. She then put him in this hole and covered him with dirt.
But as unspeakable as the alleged crime was, it did not come out of nowhere.
It's just a train wreck that's going to happen, right? You just see it coming, and they don't do anything about it.
By law, records from Children's Protective Services are guarded closely, even after a child dies. But we've obtained internal CPS records that show state employees were warned for years that Zemar was in danger.
At least 4 times, records show, Brandy Pierce was the subject of CPS complaints. The first coming in 2015, after Pierce admitted to marijuana and alcohol use during her first trimester. It happened, she said, before she decided to keep Zemar. There were complaints in 2019 and 2021, both alleging that Zemar had been left alone. The first time in the lobby of a Southfield apartment building, with Zemar telling police he did not know where he belonged. Police later made contact with a relative, and the complaint was denied. 2 years later, on a 78-degree day in May, Zemar was left alone in his mother's locked car for more than 90 minutes while she went to a doctor's appointment. She told police her son was a heavy sleeper and claimed doctors wouldn't let him into her appointment.
It's the pattern, right? Here is a mom, again, where she's repeatedly reported by different people in the community.
Frank Vandervoort is a law professor at the University of Michigan and a longtime child welfare advocate who said Pierce's pattern of behavior and the disclosure that she was receiving mental health services on an almost daily basis should have been a red flag to CPS.
That suggests to me a very severe level of mental health need. So I'm troubled by that, and it raises more questions than it answers for us.
The Macomb County prosecutor denied a warrant request for child abuse, saying there was insufficient evidence and CPS working with mom. CPS would close the case after performing a home visit, finding no safety hazards, enough food, and suitable sleeping arrangements.
Then, last April, came the 4th complaint to CPS. This time, Pierce would come here to this Plymouth Hospital emergency room, reporting she was anxious and depressed.
Pierce told CPS she had a breakdown and felt herself going into a panic attack. She was questioning whether she should give up custody of one of her children. She'd been evicted from a motel, she said. Her car was repossessed. She was completely out of funds. Once she left the hospital, she and her kids would be sleeping on the street.
On its own, how serious is that?
Critical. This is a family with no place to live. She tells the caseworker, I can't sleep in my car, which suggests to me that she's been sleeping in her car at some points.
But what Zemar told CPS was most alarming of all. He had not been to school in over a year, he said, and doesn't always have food to eat. He said his mother beat him with a belt, that she's choked him with her hands, and that she wants to kill him.
Any rational, normal person walking out on the street hearing this would be completely alarmed by what they're hearing. They would take action. They would call the police.
But what CPS did, according to internal records, was close the case. The investigation found no preponderance of evidence of physical neglect. Pierce was provided with pamphlets connecting her with community services, and a note was added to follow up on her mental health appointments. 6 months later, after Zemar reported that his mother choked and wanted to kill him, prosecutors say she did.
It's alleged that she killed him, and that the cause of death found by the medical examiner was smothering and neck compression.
CPS records show that the family was placed at a homeless shelter after that final complaint last April. It is not clear how long they were there. Then in December, Brandy Pierce was found in Georgia. She was arrested after someone reported finding her other child, a 3-year-old, locked in a car alone. Police said temperatures were in the 40s, the child was nude, and there was feces and a deflated air mattress in the vehicle. Citing state and federal law, CPS said they could not comment on this case, but they are heartbroken by Zemar's death and are committed to ensuring the health and safety of all children. Tonight, Zemar's relatives are trying to pay for his burial. They have started a GoFundMe, and we have included a link where you can donate on our website right now at WXYZ.com.
I mean, wow. I mean, just wow, all the way across the board. I mean, when you look into a case like this, and you don't even have an answer for it, because I know that I've seen CPS push children to say bad things about parents that are not bad, that did not try to do anything to them, but they come into your house and they trying to take your child for things that you're not even doing. And in this instance, I mean, looking at it now, I mean, even she was, the Brandy Pierce, the mother was almost even asking for help, saying, I can't live in my car, and trying to do something. So she, and then you know she's dealing with mental health issues. Once again, you know, she's dealing with mental health issues and nobody picks this up. She been in this situation with CPS 4 times, 2015, 2019, 2021, and 2023 for leaving the child in the car for 90 minutes. And then 6 months before the child actually gets killed, he tells CPS that she's going to kill me. And you close the case. He says he don't eat regularly and he hasn't been in school in a year. And you close the case. Somebody got to make this make sense, because somebody got to be held accountable for this. I mean, this is crazy. It's like an air traffic control person telling 2 planes to stay at the same level and they end up crashing. And they keep their job. It's like, no, you just caused a lot of deaths because you wasn't paying attention. This has caused this little boy his life, because Zemar King III has already came out and said something. He spoke out. Her record spoke out. She even tried to give the kids up. And nobody did nothing. I mean, in a sense, you failed her too. I mean, this is a really sick system to literally, like, your job is called Child Protection Services. And you can't you can't protect the children. You know, I mean, it doesn't make sense. A child says, I don't eat regularly, and I haven't been to school in a year, and she's going to kill me. Close the case. There is absolutely zero excuse for this. And when you look at it, the fact of the matter is, this is what I'm talking about. They don't protect the women and children. But once again, if this was anything to do with LGBTQ or the alphabet people or whatever, it would have been a big story. It would have been a hate crime. It would have been everything. And here we are with this little boy who's been telling y'all what's going on with him, trying to get help. Even Brandy Pierce tried to get help, and nobody did anything. You could just close the case. So where is the protection? And the sad part about it is, this isn't going to stop. It's not like it's not going to stop. It's just, the sad part about it is that that's the sad part, is that it's just going to keep happening. And it's just story after story after story of things like this, but it is what it is. We just got to do better and just, stay prayed up, stay praying to the Most High higher in the name of Yeshua. And that's all we can do. But with that being said, it's Greg James with Behind the Scriptures, and I'll see you in the next video.